This is just we start with applause to get the.
Oh yeah, did we do that the last time you were on, or did we not figured that out?
The clap.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you had the clap.
Okay, cool. I feel like it.
Different clap though.
There was a time I didn't have the clap.
Been a while.
I think you've had the clap for a while now.
It has been a while.
Yeah. You really should go to a doctor. Hey, welcome to episode 115 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Blake.
Hey.
And special guest Ed.
Hello.
And no Severn this week. He is out of town?
Yep. Yeah, he's out of town.
Did he die?
You don't even know where he went.
He went to Wellington.
Is that a metaphor?
Yeah, that is a metaphor.
Is that like
that is a metaphor?
Pet goes to the farm.
Yeah.
So this is our special memorial Severn episode. Boy, it would be really bad if he died before this episode came out. Severn, don't die, please.
Yeah, you wouldn't want Nick to look bad.
Yeah,
don't die.
That's the main reason. Usually when we do the podcast, we talk about what we've been playing. Ed, what have you been playing?
Oh shit.
Well, do you want to talk about your ExileCon experience first?
No. Hang on.
No, Nick wants to shame
we'll
me.
We'll get back there.
Recently I haven't really been playing anything. But Christmas holidays I did play a game, Phoenix Point.
Phoenix Point.
Yeah.
Dude, Christmas holidays I still count as recent, so you're good.
What's Phoenix Point? I've never heard of it.
Phoenix Point is a XCOM style game.
Oh, okay.
So it's made by the guy who made the original XCOM, like way back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So he did a Kickstarter and made his own little company, and yeah.
So turn-based tactics, and then
and like this one's kind of different because instead of it being like percentage-based accuracy.
Right.
Like
the chance stuff.
Yeah. Instead, it uses actual projectiles that fire within a cone, and like where the projectiles hit is where they actually hit. So you've got things like limb damage, and
that's
there's
cool.
like a tree branch in the way. You could hit the tree branch and get really mad.
Perfect. That's what I've been waiting for from a game. The original XCOM was quite in depth with its mechanics. Yep. Like a lot of the stuff was just very complex, and it sounds like they found a way to make it even more complex.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, to be honest with this one, I played it for a couple of weeks. I think I tried 2 campaigns, and then ended up going back to XCOM 2.
Whoa! Was it why too hard? Too easy?
No, it was.
It's not the same.
Yeah, I could tell there was something missing from it.
What was it missing?
And I couldn't quite work it out till I went back to XCOM, and it was missing urgency.
Oh yeah,
like there wasn't that same level of constant tension that XCOM has.
Is that just you mean in the game, like throughout the whole game? Because I remember XCOM, you never felt like you were on top of everything. Like there was you always felt like you were just struggling behind the onslaught of whatever.
Exactly. It just didn't have that. I didn't feel like I was having like mini heart attacks every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
So I just
Are there different difficulty levels?
Yeah, there are.
Have you tried turning the difficulty up?
No. Well, no, because I knew because it did reach a point where the enemies got ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
And I was losing units like left, right, and center, but there still wasn't that panic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was like I don't know, it was like my units would just die out of nowhere. It was like, that was dumb.
Oh.
I should have seen that coming rather than oh no, he might get stuck here and then this guy's gonna come in here and oh no, it happened. Like and I think one thing is there was no fog of war.
Oh, okay.
So you
Um,
could see
you see
everything.
everything
You
that
could-
you
yeah,
land?
you still
Oh,
had line
right.
of sight, so if
Yeah.
someone was behind a wall, you couldn't see them.
Yeah.
But yeah, even so, you could see right to the end of the map.
Because that was a
Right.
huge part of the tension. I remember was that you don't know how many enemies were
Yeah.
out there.
Exactly.
Mm.
And like so the enemies, on XCOM you have that what is it called, scamper mechanic. So like they're kind of in a fixed location. They might patrol a certain area, but once you see them, they engage you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In this one, I don't know, they're all kind of like fucking around doing their own thing, and if you get close enough, they'll spot you and start running towards you, but you can kind of just start shooting at them,
Yeah.
and they'll, I don't know, the AI is really dumb. Yeah.
Ah.
And the basic units don't take cover. It's,
Oh man.
I don't know. There was a bunch that was really cool and a bunch that was really disappointing.
Yeah.
Like the really cool part was being able to you can go into like first person mode and you've got this little aiming circle.
Oh yeah.
and
Oh.
So you can like aim at body parts and stuff like that.
that's
And
Okay, so the aiming was actually like up to you. It wasn't just
you could do like a just a basic shot, which would target the middle of the model.
yeah.
But yeah, you could go
You could
into
get real precise with it.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And it also meant things like idle animations mattered. So like if there was like a kind of look to the left and look to the right in the idle animation, if like most of the body was covered, you could actually sit and wait for him to like look out the window, and then you go,
Wow.
okay, now I'm gonna target.
That's
And
amazing.
then-
Interesting.
And you get a like clear shot at the head. So yeah, there was.
It sounds like that. I mean, so it just sounds like they kind of dropped the ball on some of the basics of what made XCOM
Yeah, or
exciting.
I don't know if I could say that they dropped the ball or whether they went in a different direction.
Mm.
Because yeah, XCOM. Going back to XCOM, you could tell that everything they did was just targeted at tension. That's all they wanted to do, was just make tension. The music's always like da 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 da,
Oh,
like
man.
it's real amped up,
Yeah.
and like yeah, every situation they put you in is like one slip up and yeah, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Whereas this was much more of a slow burner,
Huh.
and it seemed intentionally like a slow burner.
Did the campaign itself feel like there was any urgency to like?
No, like it was kind of like, so it's in a like post-apocalyptic time,
Yeah.
where this virus had escaped from permafrost and infected a whole bunch of people, turning them into like sea creatures.
I was with you right up until then. I was like, "Oh, this sounds a lot like what's happening."
I knew
in the
you. I
real
knew you were
world
thinking
right
that.
now.
That you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's happening right now." It's scary. Like, oh, yeah.
And then you said sea creatures. Like, it's crazy how close they got it
Yeah.
to real life. So if you had to fix it in some way, what would you do?
I'd put back in Fog of War.
Yeah.
More enemy varieties as well. There's not that many
Okay.
of them, and make the enemies more aggressive.
I wonder if
Hide behind cover and shit.
I wonder if difficulty would make a difference on that.
Yeah,
level.
there's potentially that.
Mm.
But I did like, I looked at forums and that when I started, just to see what other people's opinions were, and
Yeah.
a lot of people were saying the AI was just bad.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But they seem to be making some big updates, so I'm just kind of like putting it to the side,
Yeah.
waiting for a few more, I don't know, maybe a few DLCs to come out, and then I'll jump back on.
When did it come out?
It was like early December.
Oh, okay. So it's fairly new.
Yeah, it's still pretty new.
Okay.
They've already done like 2 pretty big patches, and they made some good improvements. But
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Well, hopefully they bring it up to Ed's high standard.
very high standards.
Some would say too high.
I
The developers of
the
Phoenix.
developers might, but I mean that's their problem.
It's made by the same guy that made the original XCOM.
Yeah.
So Blake,
Yo.
what have you been playing?
I'm playing PoE 2.
That's illegal. No, what? Explain.
No, I've been playing Pillars of Eternity 2.
Okay. I feel misled.
I don't know why.
Cheated
Why?
and betrayed.
That's what you search for, PoE 2, and That's what you get on the internet.
Oh, okay.
I never seen anything else.
Did you play the first Pillars of Eternity?
I played it for a few hours and just couldn't get into it.
And so you thought, I'm going to buy the sequel. I couldn't get into the first one, so
That's very logical.
sequel is a day one purchase.
Well, I've been playing Pathfinder again, and I was like, man, this is cool. But like, I'd taken such a break from it that I was like, oh man, I'm so overwhelmed. I need to, and I don't want to start again. But I sort of did want to. I sort of wanted I wanted a new game. That was similar to
what you wanted to do is you wanted to start Pathfinder again, but you also didn't want to start Pathfinder.
Yeah,
again.
pretty much.
So instead, you bought a new game.
I bought a new game,
a sequel to a game you've already declared you weren't that into.
Yeah, and I'm really into this.
What's wrong with you, Blake?
I don't know, but I'm really into this game. I like it a lot.
Okay, great. What's the difference between this one and the previous one?
Okay, so this one they've added the thing that's really hooked me is they've added this like turn-based
tactics, and you've got aiming and no fog of war. No, go ahead.
Yeah, well, actually, you do have fog of war. It's stressful, man. Sometimes you walk into these, you don't know how many enemies are there. Oh, actually, you do know how many enemies are there because they show up in the turns list.
Okay,
but you don't see them. But you see just like
wait, so Pillars of Eternity's turn-based now.
There's a turn-based mode.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can switch it.
Yeah, when you start a new game, you can decide which one, and that was something they added like just last year, I think.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't come with the original. The original Pillars of Eternity was all like real-time combat, so you're pausing and doing that and like assigning spells and moves and stuff, just like Pathfinder.
Yep.
But like, man, the turn-based stuff I'm really enjoying because like I've played Divinity 2, and that's all turn-based.
Yep.
But the difference is, I think because this started off as real-time with like spell timers, the way they've done that in turn-based is that like you go to cast a spell and say it'll take a certain amount of time. It'll show in the like stack of turns where that spell is going to cast, so you can plan stuff like quite intricately.
Right. You could do things to manipulate the battlefield.
Yeah.
In a specific order so that your spell does the most of the thing you want it to.
Yeah, and I'm really, really enjoying that.
How many hours have you played?
Man, probably I think it's got to be like maybe 15. Got to be.
Okay, so you're fairly deep into it.
Yeah, it's got to be getting close to 20. I think
this isn't like I've almost finished the tutorial.
No, I'm way past the tutorial.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny, you know how like with Pathfinder, I was saying I really liked how you start off low.
Yeah.
Like you're just some guy, and your mission is to just beat a bandit lord, and that's kind of it.
Yep.
This is like the first character you talk to is a god. And I was like, oh man, have I made a mistake with this game? Because I really get annoyed with it. It's like you're always the chosen one, and only you can save the world and stuff. I'm like, oh, I don't know, but.
You want a game where you're an ordinary schmuck.
Yeah, I want a game where you work your way up from the bottom. You don't start off talking to gods. And
you start off as a checkout operator.
Yes.
You work up to management.
Yep. Then you're running a region, regional manager.
You get your business loan out. Yeah. You start your own small grocery store.
Exactly. That sounds good.
I mean, it's interesting because Pathfinder very much felt like that because you start off, as you said, with just as some dude, you eventually get a town, but the town has nothing.
Yeah.
You have to build it from scratch.
Yeah. And the town, like in Pathfinder, the town, it has that like stress feeling that like kind of talking about with is with XCOM that you're always behind. It just feels like you're circling the drain the whole time, and every little thing you do is just to like put it off a little bit longer.
I think one of the worst things about Pathfinder is signaling on that though, because you do not realize
you have no idea
how dire a lot of the quests are until like in a week your town will be destroyed and it's going to take 6 days to travel to the location.
I had I got screwed like the first time I played with that because I'll be like, I've got all these side mission quests to do. I'll just put off the main quest for a while. That's what you do in RPGs. You put off the main quest, do some side quests. The main quest has a secret timer that you don't know about until it's like a week away, and then you lose the game.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And then, so it hit that, and I was like, oh, shit. And while I was on that mission, my town was destroyed and I lost the game. But luckily, it prompts you and says, like, you can turn it to easy mode if you want. You don't have to worry about it. So I was like, yeah, okay. I'm not starting the whole game again.
Yeah.
Would you like to try baby mode?
Yeah, it was like that. It was like, I don't think this is for you. You should maybe turn this down.
There is a button that's like, well, we'll handle the town stuff.
Yeah,
it's okay,
we'll look after
buddy.
the town stuff.
You do the fun fighting.
Yeah,
It's okay.
But I've messed the difficulty with the Pathfinder. You can get real like detailed in what is like what you change. It's not just like the standard normal easy stuff. It's got that. But then you can go in and change specifics.
So like monster difficulty.
Yeah, like damage and crit and and there's a
shit.
thing for the town stuff as well, so you can make it so it's just overall more easy.
I do like that stuff. I never use it, but I like to know it's there.
Yeah, I usually never use it except for this one. I was like, all right, I'm going in here. I've had too many people just die, and it's like when they die, they can't come back, so that's it.
Ooh.
So I'm just like, change everything so that like when they die in combat, they just come back up when they're at the end of combat.
So how do you feel about the fact that you're basically the chosen one from the moment you start the game?
I was like, well, I'll see how this goes. Like, it turns out you're not the only chosen one. You're
one of the chosen ones.
This is because this is a direct sequel from Pillars of Eternity 1.
Yeah,
it's got you sort of like skim through the backstory of that game. And so you're what they call a watcher, and there seems to be like there's quite a few of these watchers in the world, and they basically can talk to souls and they can do weird soul stuff, and so that's sort of the reason why you're kind of special.
Yeah,
but you're not like the only. You're not
Gotcha.
the one. You're just you're the
one
one
of the
many.
ones. Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, you start off talking to some god, and they're like, "Oh, there's this situation you got to go down and deal with it because you die." Because you're
what?
dead. You die in the intro.
Okay.
And then they're like, and you're talking to this god, and they're like, I'm going to send you back, and you got to deal with this like situation. Because it's related to stuff that had happened in the first one.
Question. Does the game over screen come up when you die?
No.
Okay. But does it come up later on if you die? If you die later.
I have had a total party wipe, and it does come up with a game over, and it's just like.
Now, why do they distinguish between those two deaths?
I don't know.
Come on, guys, be consistent.
I do like some games where it's like they expect you to die somewhere, and then you're like, oh no, I'm dead. But then it's like it carries on.
Part of the story.
Yeah, but then later on, you're like, oh, this is a really hard thing. Maybe they expect me to die here, and then you die, and it's like, nah, it's game over.
You suck.
Yeah, you suck. Maybe you like to try baby mode. Then you brought back to Earth, and like you basically are starting off with nothing again, because all your achievements from 1 are like completely destroyed in the intro, like physically destroyed. And all you have left is a boat, and now you're managing like this boat, and you're
how big is the boat?
It's quite a small boat to begin with,
dinghy?
but no.
Okay.
It's it's a
tugboat?
It's a decent sized boat. It's not a tugboat.
Oh, okay.
Get real, Nick.
Sorry, no, you're right.
And
like a catamaran,
and you're dealing with like pirates and stuff.
A skiff.
It's maybe a skiff. That sounds no, not a skiff.
A yacht.
It's closer to a yacht.
Okay.
It's like a small pirate ship. I think it's one sail. It's a one sail pirate ship.
Okay, but I mean, I
Not a
don't know
galley.
that a pirate ship is a type of ship.
Pretty sure it is.
I think the defining characteristic of a pirate ship is it's occupied by
I think
pirates.
you go to a shop and you buy a pirate ship.
Yeah, I'm with Blake on this one.
Yeah, you
Okay.
go to the
Pirate
boat
ship
shop.
is
You're
a
right.
type of ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go to the boat shop and you say, what's your best pirate ship?
And what kind of pirating you looking at doing?
Digital.
Digital piracy.
I want a lot of games.
got a lot of games and movies here. I want to.
Oh boy, have I got the pirate ship for you.
I christened the Napster.
But yeah, you're managing like a crew on this pirate ship. So you can meet like side characters who they don't join your party.
Yeah.
But they're like actual sort of characters with kind of decent like fleshed out personalities.
Yeah.
And they can join your crew and they've got like you can sort of see their basic stats, and it'll just say what they're like best at doing on the ship.
Right.
So there might be like one They might be good
you-
at like a cook or a deckhand or a cannoneer or something like that.
Right, and you ignore that and you assign them wherever you want.
Yeah, you can assign them wherever you want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like
You're good at cooking. Swab the deck.
swap that deck. Swap the poop deck.
You make sure your chef is really being knee deep in the poop deck.
Yep. It's where they need to be.
Yeah.
But then the game basically opens up your sailing around this like this island, this map of islands, this archipelago, and you're going to you're going to just like different islands and exploring, these islands.
Mm-hmm.
The travel reminds me a little bit of Pathfinder, except in Pathfinder you were restricted to the roads.
Yeah.
But here you can kind of just go anywhere, and time does pass by. Like you see the light change from like day and night and that.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you can fight pirates as well. First time I got onto the ocean, I got
But aren't they your friends if you're on a pirate ship?
Nah, these are different pirates.
Oh, okay.
Pirates are just it's a free for all, man.
Okay.
Or actually,
all pirates aren't friends.
not all pirates are friends. Well, actually,
that sounds wrong to me though.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like all pirates should be friends.
Well,
common interests.
I'm starting to find that there may be like pirate factions,
Uh-huh.
and depending on what flag I'm flying, I'll be left alone or attacked.
Oh, you can actually change your flag.
You can change your flag.
That's pretty cool.
And like to pick up one of these flags, I can't even remember what I did. I think I was in a town and fought a bunch of these pirates who were part of this like this I guess group of pirates.
Uh-huh.
And they had a flag of theirs on there. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna put this on my ship. But then if I've got that, there's also like Royal Trading Company. There's a couple of different royal trading companies, and they have like patrols around.
Right.
So then I'm like, oh, are these guys going to attack me?
And will they?
I haven't tried it because they're like their level is like way too high.
You should try it.
I actually should. It'd be cool. But what's cool, like you go into ship combat, and it's actually the ship combat itself is not that like interesting.
Okay.
You're basically given. It's almost like a choose your own adventure where it presents you with a book. A book
Right,
UI,
like
and
Pathfinder.
then like Pathfinder,
Yeah.
and you're choosing things, and you do battle. It's like a text adventure for fighting.
Do you want to
fighting a ship.
broadside or
Yeah, it is.
swab the
It is
poop
kind of
deck?
like that, and it's like and it's always swab the poop.
Always swab.
Always
Yeah.
swab. And then, but you're like turning your ship, and it has a little display of like the rotation of where your ship is in
relation to theirs. Yeah.
But like you can just like go full speed ahead towards them and then board them, and then it switches into like regular combat.
Okay.
Which is really cool. I think because like I only have cannons on one side of my ship.
It just leans really hard to one
Yeah.
side.
So
You only sail in circles.
I had to be. So I had
the
to
crew
be.
stands on the other side.
Yeah. Everyone, we need to balance this out. The cannonballs.
Go to fire the cannons. They point to the water.
Yeah, capsizes.
But my theory of that is that I would rather have like full damage potential on one side than just half on each, because I've only got 2 cannons at the moment.
So you
I need to buy more cannons. I've only got
I'll be
2
honest, Blake,
cannons.
it sounds like you might be the worst pirate.
Why?
Do I really need
You
to answer that?
just keep them on one. You just keep the enemy on one side of your boat, and
Uh-huh.
then you just fire both.
And what happens if they're not on that side?
Then you charge towards them and board them.
Okay.
It worked. I mean, I beat them.
I played a game. I may have mentioned this on the podcast before. I played a game called Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was like a licensed game, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't, as far as I could tell, based on any of the films.
Oh.
It was like just based. They just used the name.
It's just based on the ride.
Yeah. No, but it was. I think it was Bethesda published or maybe Bethesda developed.
Oh.
But it was like a game where you kind of travel between islands, trading. And you could also do things on the islands, but the combat was real wonky. And but the ship combat was actually quite cool.
Huh.
Because it was like you're in open ocean, you have to manage like your ship's facing and against the wind, and there's a whole bunch of different kinds of shot you can use that will like tear up their sails or damage their ship itself. and you can board them and fight. But it was so hard that I don't think I ever really made any progress.
Yeah.
But I really liked the ship combat in that game.
Yeah.
I played one game when I was a kid called Age of Sails,
Mm.
and that was weird game thinking about it because it was a massive map, but it was just ocean, and it was like top down view, and you've got your little ship, and you sail it towards the other ship, and you've had like levels of how open your sails are, and just all these like little commands and stuff, and I don't know, just sail around in circles, shooting your can. I mean, I was like 8 at the time, so I had no idea of what ship tactics would be.
Yeah.
Stay afloat.
Yeah,
That's number one.
Probably playing it all wrong.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was playing Pirates of the Caribbean wrong as well.
yeah. But I mean, what other tactics do you use except for like pull up beside them and
Yeah.
Fire
isn't it just
broadside,
like drive
yeah.
by on water?
Yeah, it is. It is just you
Yeah.
just drive by and just go and hope
It's
you
just
hit
like
them.
clack clack and then you move off.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of stories from like actual naval battles where ships just would circle each other, blasting all of their ammunitions, and then just run out of
Yeah.
ammo, and then it was just they had to
Well,
they had to move on.
When I was playing when I was playing Sea of Thieves, that happened quite often. We just circling each other and no one can get a shot.
Yeah.
And even if you did get a shot, you can just repair it.
Right.
So like one hit means kind of nothing.
Yeah.
So the best tactic was to like get real close, take some dynamite, and run onto their boat and just blow it up.
Oh man.
We managed to do that a couple of times. Like on our little boat, we like took out some of the larger ones where both of us, there was only 2 of us, and we just jumped on their boat, and you could tell that the crew were just like confused as what were happening because these people carrying these like kegs of dynamite just ran down into their hull, and suddenly the whole
I don't
ship
recognize you. What are you
blows
doing?
up.
That's pretty cool. Let's talk a little bit about ExileCon. Ed,
Yeah.
you went there.
I did.
How was that?
Uh,
Tell me about the morning of the first day of ExileCon.
I don't know. There was nothing special about that.
It would have been an early start, I think. Right?
Well, yeah. So the night before, we had the VIP dinner.
Yep.
Which came with, was it free alcohol?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it was free for
up to a point.
us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the company had to pay.
Yeah.
Nah. No.
I don't
Well, there was a point after the dinner that everyone was just sitting around drinking.
Yeah. So I got involved in that.
Yeah.
How late were you there?
I actually can't remember when I got home. It might have been about 2 a.m.
And remember that you were meant to be back in the city at 8 for the start of ExileCon.
Yes.
Oh God. Yeah.
I remember there were tequila shots, there was whiskey, there was beer, wine of both colors. Anyway, so I wake up the next morning with the contents of my stomach demanding out.
Mm-hmm.
I think I vomited about 3 times
Very nice.
before I got out the door.
Good. Yep.
Whoa.
I was in a bit of a state, but I was determined to be at my post and I Ubered in, hoping that I didn't have a 4th round, which thankfully never came.
What was your role at ExileCon?
Day 1, I was just to be Kitava.
Okay.
Thank God for that, because if I was one of the zombies, I would have just had a nightmare of a time.
Yes.
But
But you would have been one of the high demand bosses later on
yeah.
in the day.
But like, I didn't get anyone approach me till like, I don't know, well after lunch. So yeah, like I turned up there and I remember Andrew spotting me and just laughing at me. You look like death. 'Cause I feel like death
Yep.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's actually about all I remember from the first day was just wanting to curl up into a ball.
Did you
and
You don't remember the keynote?
Oh no, yeah,
Oh.
no, the key. It's coming back to me
Yeah.
now.
You know, the whole reason that we were doing the thing?
Yeah. Was that the reason? I thought it was the card game.
It certainly felt that way at times.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the keynote was great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just like, I didn't think it would be that enjoyable to be there for a reveal like that, but
Yeah, me too.
it was, it was just having everyone like cheer and shit at work. Stuff you've worked on for
good
ages.
energy.
Yeah.
But you
It was worth the blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah. You got, by the way, stop bleeding on your computer.
It's, I mean...
Maybe you're not working hard enough, Nick.
Oh, sorry.
We're all bleeding on our computer.
I've noticed. I've got questions.
Really unhygienic.
Yeah.
I think as long as you keep some sanitary wipes to, mop it up afterwards, it's fine. But I agree with Blake. You need to work harder if you ain't bleeding.
Yeah.
I don't know what cutting yourself over your keyboard and like chanting to Satan, how that helps.
How does it not?
Yeah.
You're right.
Every
right.
Satan deal
Look,
is always a win-win.
Yeah.
Satan's a helpful guy.
Yeah, there's no downside to dealing with the devil.
That's
Bible
what I've
gives him
heard.
a bad rap. He's actually very nice.
Mm.
Yeah, it was that hit piece, the Bible against the devil.
Real smear campaign. That was.
I mean, they had to invent books for that.
Yeah. I mean, they went all out. They really didn't like him.
So that was day one.
Yeah, that was day one. Day two, I was significantly more sober.
Good.
He only did a little bit of drinking the night before.
I think I went straight home, straight to bed, and I was out like that.
Whoa.
Like, best sleep I've had in years.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, then next day, I don't know, more of the same, but I had an interview.
That's right. You were on the live stream
I was.
with Sam.
With Sam.
Who were you talking to?
I've forgotten her name now.
I think her name was Amarantha.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
Well, I like her real name.
Or her streamer name.
Her
I don't
streamer name?
know.
Her streamer name was something else. I don't. Fuck, that's real bad.
Well, email us if you know. tweet at Ed specifically via
I don't have Twitter,
FrenzyCast.
so
Well, you tweet at FrenzyCast and just say Ed.
Forward your hate mail on.
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll
Any hateful comments you have, they're more than welcome.
They'll find their way to him.
Yeah.
well, she was very complimentary of you and Sam.
Yeah, so we had Mo's at the time. It was Movember.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
she-
Mo being short for mustache.
Yeah.
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 Not Mohawk. Not a friend called Mo. Not a lawnmower.
Do people call lawnmowers Mo's?
They better start.
Mowers.
Otherwise-
Mowers. Yeah.
Just gonna go get out the mow.
Yeah.
Put out some.
Yeah, no one says that.
Whip out the
Yeah.
mow.
I guess you mow the lawns. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so she plugged our
Mustaches?
yeah. She
Plugged them.
our
Shout out to mustaches.
our Movember page, our donation page.
Yeah.
Which I think some people did donate, which
Nice.
was nice.
How much
Great.
did you bank?
It was like a couple hundred.
Nice. Congrats.
There was money.
How's your prostate? Don't answer that.
Healthy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And yeah, no, had an interview.
How did you like being in the limelight?
It was fine. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed it at the time. I have no problems being interviewed. Like, people get really nervous about that shit.
Yeah.
I don't really have a fear of public speaking.
I do,
But yeah.
despite the fact that I host a podcast.
Yeah.
And you were on stage a lot at ExileCon.
I was on stage so much at ExileCon, and so it was like real.
Yeah.
There were nights in the lead up to ExileCon where I was like having panic attacks about like, oh god, I have to do this thing. But it turned out fine. We just uploaded on the Path to Exile page one of the talks I hosted.
Oh, cool.
One of the comments was Sorry, Nick, but I find you really, really annoying. To which I replied, hey, me too. It's fine. So I get it.
Try being me.
Yeah, no, really. I was going to say that. I can't even turn me off. There's no mute button for this guy.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
No, but I get it. I get it. So it's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. The interview was fine, but then watching it back later was really cringy and awful. I don't like watching myself doing an interview. I find myself incredibly boring. So I would be commenting. I don't know why you guys have me back. Like, I thought after the first one, you'd be like, yeah, no, that was a mistake. No, let's get this guy.
But side note, Blake, we're not having him back on, right? We're done. This is the last one. Last Ed. No longer talking to Ed.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Okay, Nick. Okay, yeah.
No longer friends.
Sure.
Friendship over? Okay.
He's
Cool.
getting fired.
I think
Firing him.
Yeah.
Firing Ed. Cool. So Ed, highlights of day 2.
Highlights of day 2.
So actually, you were Kitava. How did that pan out?
Well, that got super busy.
Yeah.
Day 2. I just had like rows of people coming to fight
Rows
me.
of them. At least
Rows.
they were organized.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds-
I remember having to move locations several times because like the line of people would be blocking a stairwell.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had that trouble too.
Yeah.
I had to constantly keep moving
It'd be
because people
like,
were like,
Okay,
blocking
let's come
stairs.
over here. And then
Yeah.
it's just like horde of people like trailing
Yeah.
after you.
In fairness, like monsters do move around,
Yeah, I
Which-
guess.
except for
Yeah.
Kitava. Kitava is
Kitava's
very much stationary.
famously stationary.
he goes up and down.
Because
Yeah, I guess you could have just gone upstairs and
I should have
downstairs.
just stayed in the elevator.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And you can only fight him on the top floor.
I kind of like
Just
When
that.
you
go
need a
down.
break, you're just like, see ya.
Your loot will be on level 2.
Just throw some cards
You have
on.
5 seconds to loot, and then you just go to the epilogue.
Yeah. It was great though because my conditions were really easy. It was just damage every piece of gear once,
Oh, that's
Nice.
and then give them one piece of loot.
Oh, so you didn't have like the hierarchy of damage.
No.
that Oh,
I just had clip everything.
nice.
And which so many people looked devastated when I
Mhm.
started doing it.
Well,
It
you
was
are
amazing.
Kitava, like
Yeah.
they expect.
They would like hand me like their really high end gear, and I'd just be like, "Sweet, clip,
LOL
clip,"
resistance
and it-
penalties.
Every clip, their like face drops.
Because
Yeah.
dude, there were people coming back to me on the second day, being like, I got to like somewhere like either Kitava or like someone else up there, and they're like, they just smashed all my gear, and I have to build myself back up. So they're coming back to me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Was it? Yeah, I think the weirdest thing though was because we're walking around with the T-shirts with all the information on it. Yeah, you wearing yours.
I'm wearing mine right now. It
Yeah.
just says Hargan.
Yeah, you
There's
were
no
just
symbols.
an NPC.
Yeah,
You
I was
didn't play the. I guess you couldn't because you were hosting so much, right?
I was at the crafting bench.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
way worse.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I
so
would've
you
rather
think
been a
you had it
zombie.
rough?
Actually, who do you think had it worse, the crafting bench or the zombies?
Crafting bench.
I think crafting bench.
Yeah?
100%.
it was nonstop for 2 days. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. There was one point that I remember. I did probably about 8 hours total on the crafting bench over the 2 days,
Wow.
and that's not including like time I was on stage and stuff. And I remember, I think there was about a 2-minute period where we had literally nobody the whole time.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Wow.
The rest of the time there was
What'd you do for those 2 minutes?
took a breather, celebrated, and was like also shocked.
You're like, it's
It was-
over. Thank God.
But
Cried
then
with relief.
Yeah.
literally, like within about a minute or two, the line was back.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
Yeah.
crazy the whole time. It was just crazy.
But yeah, I found the strangest thing was walking around and just having dudes stare at my chest.
Yeah.
Right,
from a-
very much a role reversal for you. Ed.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, I felt like I just had an amazing rack. Except
I've always thought that about you.
Yeah, except they'd look at you and then turn away and go, nah. Because that was happening to me.
But no,
They'd look at me and go, nah.
yeah. But there was also the like look, check the cards, look, check the cards, look, check the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing the math.
Yeah.
hmm
It's just like, I'm just an equation to you.
Yeah.
Then there's the after party.
Yep.
Did you resume the
festivities?
level of pain?
I was
you
out till 5 a.m.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Did you go to where was it?
Wait, I went to that.
Father Ted's after? Or?
Yeah. The small Irish pub that
Yeah.
we completely packed out.
I decided I didn't go to that because I heard too many people were like, we're going to Father Ted's. We're all going to Father Ted's.
It
It's
was
like,
amazing.
so
Like
200 people are going to this tiny.
I
thing.
left at like 11 or something. I left early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty tired, so yeah.
Me too.
I didn't.
we ended up
Stay.
breaking off into a separate group and going to another bar.
Oh, that's a
where
good
it was,
idea.
It was
Yeah.
less crowded.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No.
I heard Mark II was getting swarmed,
Yeah.
and I think Sam was saying he had to act as his like bouncer.
Yeah, well, that's why we moved. It
yeah.
was just getting too overwhelming, so we just we snuck him out.
Wowie.
Yeah.
That's too intense.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Yeah.
Did you get to sign stuff? Did people ask you to
Yeah,
sign
I
things?
signed a bunch of books
Nice.
with my shitty signature.
Uh-huh.
It's just Ed, block letters. If you put the E and the D close enough, it looks like a dick.
And ED is also erectile dysfunction, so that all makes sense.
Hey,
Win-win.
Yeah.
I love my name.
Weirdly fitting.
We could write Edward in a full life.
There's Ed and then a wad.
Yeah.
Oh god. This is usually a classier show than this.
No, I don't. Believe
That's not true. Yeah, you're right. I'm out of stuff to talk about, frankly. We've got some questions though.
Oh,
Unless you guys got anything? That's a
Not really.
that is a resounding yes. We've got heaps more. Okay. This is from Fuwasan. He said, Blake, have you tried Dwarf Fortress? It seems similar to the kind of games you usually play.
Oh, actually, no, I haven't, but I know about Dwarf Fortress.
What do you know about it?
I know that it's like an insanely complicated like village management game. But the thing that really puts me off is that it's all like ASCII art.
Yeah.
But
Allegedly, they were going to do an actual art.
yeah, I was actually excited about that, and then I never heard anything about it since. And I think I tried looking it up maybe not that long ago, and it just seemed to just be a vaporware thing.
Oh well.
Yeah, but yeah, that because a bunch of the games I play are like weird village management games.
Yes,
and
that's
stuff
true.
like Stonehearth that we've never talked about.
And we never will.
have you thought of running for mayor? Running an actual town.
Wow, that's crazy.
You have.
I like to build it up from nothing.
Have you ever played an Animal Crossing game?
Actually, no, I haven't.
I think you would love Animal Crossing.
There's a new Animal Crossing coming, right?
Yes, there is.
Maybe
You
I'll
get
try it. Maybe I'll
Good.
try it.
Good. Hey, Ed, do you have a Switch?
I do.
What games do you have?
Doom
Okay.
1 and 2.
Wait. Oh, as in like the super old ones?
Yeah, the original Doom
Whoa.
games.
Okay. Okay.
It's
sure.
amazing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anything else? anything newer than 25 years old?
I've got
The original XCOM.
I'm sure there was some other old game. It has kind of become a system just for retro gaming.
I honestly quite like. I mean, they've got, if you sign up to like the Nintendo online service, you get Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo games,
Yeah.
which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I sort of looked at that. Is it worth it?
That's a good question. It's fairly cheap. It's like $7 a month or something
Yeah.
like that. I have it. I got a year of it alongside Mario Maker,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and I like it. The issue is that a lot of the games on the Nintendo Entertainment System don't hold up.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I bought my nieces and nephews the mini Nintendo Entertainment System
Yeah.
for Christmas,
Mhm.
and some of those games are just
They're rough.
pure trash.
They are
no,
rough.
I tried the old games, and none of them could hold my attention.
Yeah.
I tried to play the original Zelda,
Mhm.
and yeah.
See, I'd like
No.
to I think the original Zelda is on that mini one, but I never tried it. But I always thought I'd like to try it, but I'd probably not play for very long.
It's real weird. Like you start off with the his special sword.
Oh, the Master Sword?
Yeah. You start off with a bunch of stuff, and you
Huh.
just start off in the middle of nowhere, no explanation. And
Yeah.
it's just like, go.
Oh, they have so they've got two versions. This is actually one of the features I think is kind of interesting. It seems like an acknowledgement that a lot of these old games are very hard to play
Yeah.
and don't stand up that well. They put like special versions of these games where it's like a save file built into it
Yeah.
that starts you off like before the final boss or with all the stuff. And
because I saw a special edition or
Yeah.
whatever it was, and I was like, oh well, of course I'll play that one.
yeah. So
Right. So
that's what that was.
I was playing the wrong one.
Yes. The actual original Zelda starts you off with, I believe, nothing except for a shield. You pick up a sword in the cave that you start out like is above.
See, that sounds way better.
The original Zelda is an interesting one because it is hard to get into, but it also still holds up. That's one of the few games that I think is still actually really a joy to play once you get into it. It takes a little bit of time.
It was a bit of a revolution at the time, right? Like
At the time, it was like graphically superior.
Yeah.
It was an open world.
yeah.
It had
And just the idea of like you're like an RPG, you're slowly building up your strength. And I remember hearing what's his name? Is it Miyamoto that made it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about how he wanted to have a feeling where when you first start off, you're scared of this type of monster, but then hours later you encounter it again, and you waste it, and you're like, "Huh, I used to be scared of these things," and it's like you've grown,
yes.
Like Dark Souls.
like Dark Souls.
It's interesting because I mean it's not the first RPG.
Yeah,
Like there are lots of other RPGs. Final Fantasy, for example, was also I think around.
right.
By
But
the
it was
time-
different. Like that's
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you
what
look
did Japanese call JRPGs?
RPGs.
Yeah, they just
Well, what do they
RPGs.
call Zelda? Is that an RPG?
I think. Well,
But that turn-based
the
style of
original
RPG
one-
that we call JRPG, like in Japan, wouldn't that have a different like naming thing?
I think the distinctions have become more divided in recent times. I think they used to all just be kind of RPGs. I think Zelda is now classified as like an action RPG because it's not turn-based.
Yeah, sure.
But one of the things I've always loved about Zelda, which, as far as I know, it kind of invented, was like the non-statistical or masked statistical advancement. Like you look at a game like Final Fantasy, and you've got HP, and you've got attack damage, and you deal specific points of damage. And in Zelda, you still kind of have all of those things, but it's masked very well. You've got hearts, and you've got like the damage is number of hits it takes to kill something. But it's all hidden from you, and it feels much more organic as a result.
Actually, the last Switch game I bought was Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah,
The
DX, the new version.
Yeah.
Did you play through it?
Yeah. I got to the end.
Had you played it before?
Yeah, I played it like a couple times on Game Boy way back.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. It was very much the same.
Yeah, I bought that as well, mostly for my wife because I had played it a bunch of times.
Yeah,
and she had a great time. And it was for me, it was like a nostalgia trip, but I was like, kind of like sad that it wasn't.
Yeah,
There wasn't
I
a
guess
lot
I
of
had a
stuff.
similar kind of feel. It was like I was a little disappointed by the performance, like there's frame rate drops and shit.
Were there frame rate drops?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Were you playing handheld or were you playing on TV?
Playing on TV.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm pretty sensitive to frame rate drops.
You're very sensitive. Ed.
I'm a very sensitive guy.
Yeah.
They
Specifically to frame rate drops.
24 frames per second just makes me break down in tears.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But yeah, similar kind of thing. I was just like, this is cool. It looks cool, but it's also just I've done this,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's a little
Uh,
disappointing.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I felt similarly, but because my wife hadn't played it, she had a great time.
Yeah.
So it still stands up as a game.
I still got lost actually. 'Cause
Interesting.
there was stuff that I had forgotten about, and I had to look up a walkthrough once or twice
Mhm.
because I was not going to spend hours on a game that I've already completed.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I asked this, I don't even remember. What else do you have? Oh, so the Super Nintendo stuff. There's that thing comes out as well. There's games for the Super Nintendo on there as well. It's interesting because a lot of those games also don't stand up very well. Some of them do, and some of them are in this sort of weird middle ground. So like they've got Star Fox on there.
Oh yeah,
like the original Star Fox, and that one actually stands up reasonably
well.
Wait,
what's the original Star Fox? Is it the N64 one?
No, the original Star Fox.
I didn't know there was. I thought the N64 one was the original.
Well, this is why I'm talking about it. This was like one of the first 3D games. Like it had polygons.
Yeah.
It looks.
Must look terrible.
It
like
does.
The ships are made of like 4 polygons, or more than that. But
yeah, 5.
Yeah, but not
too
many
like
more.
Maybe 12.
Yeah.
But
like
textures, just like a color.
No textures.
No textures.
It's just a color.
5 colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating game to play because you could see like the evolution of 3D gameplay.
Wow.
And in fact, Star Fox 2 was even more interesting because it took sort of like the on rails combat of Star Fox. I don't know if you remember, like Star Fox 64 had on rail stuff, but then sometimes boss fights would be sort of 3D, like you could fly around in more space, and then like multiplayer was all 3D and like you could free moving, and Star Fox 2 was sort of the birth of that. So it's quite a fascinating trip down game evolution.
Yeah.
So I would say it's worth getting the Nintendo thing for a month just to have access to those things and try them out.
Maybe I will.
$7 gets you like what 50 games?
Because the thing that annoys me is that you can download their app thing or whatever for
but then they check.
But then they're like, oh, you need to pay to actually play this thing that you downloaded. You, God damn it, Nintendo! I thought you were cool, Nintendo.
It also gets you Tetris 99, which I think I've talked about in the past.
99, is that the best? What's that one?
That one
was that the one that was on Game Boy? No, it can't be.
No, this is Tetris Battle Royale.
Oh right,
basically.
Yep.
It's you versus 99 other players or 98 other players, and you can send blocks at specific people.
Yeah,
and it's just last man standing.
That's cool.
And turns out people are real good at Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tetris is a weird game that people get really like into.
Yes. I probably played, I would say, 50 games of Tetris 99, and I made it into the top 20 players a bunch of times, but I don't think I ever got top 10. And I never got even close to like winning.
I don't think I've played. I don't really remember playing Tetris other than the one that was on Game Boy.
Still a masterpiece in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a perfect game.
It is. When I moved to the US in 2009.
Yeah.
I brought with me my Game Boy Advance SP, and in my furnitureless room with like no friends and no relatives, I would play. I would just play Tetris all night. Fantastic.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Explains a lot, right?
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say about Switch.
Yeah.
Yep. Blake,
you didn't get Pokemon?
No, I don't like Pokemon.
Huh.
I think Pokemon is a garbage game.
Why?
To be honest. I think the combat is quite shallow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole rock paper scissors thing. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's. I just wish when things were super effective, they weren't that super effective. You know.
Right.
I don't like how it's just like you basically just one shot them if you've got the right Pokemon. Yeah, like I like Pokemon. Like I played Red and Blue and Yellow, and I enjoyed those. But I guess
you grew up, right?
As I grew up as a gamer, I wanted more from combat.
Yeah,
dude, that's how I feel about this Pokemon game.
And it's just like if they could just change the combat, if they made it like, you know how they made that Pokemon Tekken game.
Oh yeah.
If they made it more like that.
Wait, there was a Pokemon Tekken game?
Yeah.
There's a Pokemon Tekken game.
What?
The Tekken team and Pokemon joined together and made a fighting game.
I think it's called Pokken.
Yeah, Pokken.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah. It's
how long ago was this?
Ago now,
you can get the demo on the Switch.
Wow, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
It's not my favorite.
It's not great.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not great. But what I'm saying is, if they made it, more of a, like you're actually battling these things.
Yeah,
and they've got
yeah.
agility and they've got, like, just do something.
Because they have like
A turn-based tactics Pokemon game would be fascinating.
actually
yeah.
yeah.
like Poke Squad or whatever.
Yeah.
You choose your team and they choose their team, and there's obstacles.
Yeah.
and you could like potentially lay down ground.
That actually would be
attacks and
way
stuff.
more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
they're just
yeah.
stuck in this formula of Pokemon games.
Yes. And I think that is a perfectly fair criticism. I didn't
Yeah.
get the new one because we got Let's Go Pikachu, which
Yeah.
was like the remake of Red and Blue, but with Pokemon Go mechanics.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
But the only reason it was fun, I think, is because we were playing it as what's called a Nuzlocke run, where if your Pokemon faints,
Yeah.
it's dead.
Right.
you
so
have to get
you're playing
rid of it.
hardcore.
yeah, this
Yes.
is the Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Pokemon Dark
Pokemon,
Souls.
yeah.
And you have to name every single Pokemon, so you make
Yeah.
an emotional connection with them.
Yeah.
And you're only allowed to catch the first Pokemon you encounter in any given area,
Right.
and that's it. So you've got a limited number of Pokemon. Your choices are also kind of
So it's Pokemon roguelike.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that made it a lot
Interesting.
more fun, and it made the combat much more exciting.
Yeah.
Without that, it is really just mashing the A button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they also have they have stat boost moves, but
Yeah.
I feel like they're just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the competitive scene and you've got a team
Yeah.
that is like purpose built to utilize them.
Yeah.
Yes. Like the Pokemon competitive scene, those stat boost moves, there are specific ones that are useful,
Yeah.
and you need like a
See,
specific team
maybe that's the
composition
thing.
to
It
make
doesn't
work.
get hard until you're fighting other people. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Because we were talking about this before that like Jake is really into that, but then he's really into like fighting other people.
Yes.
It's also really grindy though to
Yeah.
like make a PvP Pokemon team.
Yeah.
It is very grindy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just.
I mean,
don't
the whole
like
game
that.
is a grind, really.
I hate games
Yeah.
where you have to grind.
Yeah. They've made it. Yeah.
Mhm.
What?
Just the term grinding is just.
Ah.
Oh.
Feels like work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does feel like work. Damn it, I forgot what I was going to say. They've I don't know if this has been in other Pokemon games, but they've made it slightly better for grinding, where all your Pokemon get XP.
Right.
Like,
Oh, yes.
even if they've not fought.
Yeah, they did that in Let's Go.
Yeah,
Which
so
was
it's
great.
that helps a lot. So you can like raise up Pokemon without having to do the annoying thing of throwing them out first, then bringing them
Yes.
back.
Definitely make it easier to raise a Magikarp.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And do you remember the I think the original XP share was like all of your Pokemon get a little bit of XP,
But it was like a little
but overall get less or something like that. And it was like, ugh,
great.
that was like,
Yeah.
yeah. I hope they do something. I really hope they
'Cause
change up
it's
the
a cool
Pokemon
world.
mechanics.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the new Pokemon designs, but
Nobody.
Like-
This is such an old person gripe. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Like you're old when you're like the original 150 were the.
I remember when the Pokemon looked like animals.
Yeah.
You forget about Voltorb and Electrode, which are the same thing. It's a sphere with eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Well, they've got one in this.
but
that
at
is
least
an apple.
they were in the minority. You know.
Yeah, yeah. They
There
were.
was the odd weird one,
Yeah.
and then the bulk of them were just like
the-
twisted animals.
What was Magnemite again?
That was the cluster of magnets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and Magmar.
Magma.
What was Magmar? What animal was Magmar?
He was.
That was
Quick,
the lava monster.
Yeah, he was
real
lava.
quick,
Look,
real
I'm-
quick,
I'm-
Ed. What was Mr. Mime?
I'm not
That was a
saying
person.
that they weren't. I'm not saying that they
He was
weren't.
French.
There weren't weird monsters.
Mewtwo.
I'm just saying that the bulk of them
Right.
were
and
animals.
Dratini was cool.
What?
Dratini.
Which one was Dratini?
Which one was Dratini?
It evolved into Dragonair, which
Oh,
also
yeah.
was basically Dratini.
Well, yeah, but dragons are fine.
Dragons are fine. They're
But
real
was
enough.
it a dragon? Because it looked like a weird blue worm.
Like,
No, it's
because like
yeah.
the new Pokemon I'm finding of is like there's the panda
yeah.
with the
Like a leaf.
What's he got?
Like
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Looks like a little samurai.
There's the frog one.
Greninja, I think. Is that
yeah,
what
yeah, that one. There's a bunch of they still do some good ones.
Yeah.
but a lot.
But
of
then
them are
there's
just
also
like,
Garbodor.
What the?
Is that the Trubbish?
That sounds like something from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it does.
There's also Vanilla Ice.
Oh,
That one looks like an ice cream cone. There's the ones that really annoy me are the ones that look like man-made things.
Yeah.
And that does annoy me.
It undercuts the idea that these are wild animals.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's like there's one that's like a keychain.
Yes, and doesn't it evolve to just have more keys on its chain?
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a mimic from D&D.
You know what? I don't think they've done a mimic Pokemon. I don't think they've done one that looks like a chest or like furniture.
I think it's just asking for it. I mean, that is a Pokemon, really. Like, if anything in D&D is a Pokemon, it's that.
I would love when this like it slowly cycles through a dining set.
No, I would say a gelatinous cube.
Oh yeah, that is pretty.
That's a Pokemon.
Have they done a gelatinous cube?
I mean, they've had
Pokemon
blobs.
Yeah.
They've got that slime Pokemon.
Grimer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got like a weirdly encyclopedic brain for Pokemon.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, I'm like a walking Pokedex. All right, let's ask one more question.
Yep.
Hey there, long-time lurker, first-time contactor. I've been kind of sick of PoE's subreddit's negativity bandwagon lately, so my question is, do these periods of negativity on Reddit affect The Office? Thanks a lot, B.
Not at all.
It affects some people.
Yeah, it does affect some people.
Yeah.
But not us.
Some people don't pay attention. Don't pay attention to it.
I don't pay attention.
Some people have to pay attention to it, and some people pay attention by choice.
Yeah.
I pay attention by choice. I think once you've been like at GGG for a length of time, you notice it goes in waves. It goes in cycles, and in fact, it's specifically tied to the length of a league.
If something is bad enough, we end up hearing about it.
Yeah.
But that's just sort of like, oh man, the players don't like this thing.
Yeah. Oftentimes it is in the first month of a league, people are having a great time and loving it, and then in the second month of the league, you start seeing negativity, and then in the last month of the league, it is only negativity, and then also teasers and criticism about said teasers.
Yeah, that's the internet.
Yep. It really is like a 3-month cycle.
Yeah.
I think the only time I've looked on the Path of Exile Reddit was with when Po 2 was announced.
Oh yeah.
Pillars of Eternity 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was looking on there. That's where I was getting all my Pillars of Eternity news.
What did you think of that? How did you feel about the announcement and the reaction to the announcement?
I thought it was pretty great.
Yeah.
I didn't really see much negativity about it. I'm struggling to think of some. There was someone who criticized our animations and said that we didn't put enough effort in. I'm currently looking for where they live.
Yeah.
And I have
you're sitting in his house right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was. I've had a bone to pick with animators for a while.
Where are your knives?
Ed, what's your proudest piece of work in Path of Exile?
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably the one that usually springs to mind is like the elder animations, but the ones where like you encounter them like before the fight kind of thing.
Right. Like he swims out of the portal and
does
stuff and then swims away.
Yeah, I got really obsessive over those animations.
They do look good.
Thank you. They there's Kitava.
Mm-hmm. I remember when you were working on Kitava and you were in the office for like 16 hours straight every day for weeks because he needed to have like 15 different punching the ground animations, 15 different breathing animations.
Yeah, I think I worked out. I spent about 7 months on him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember that so clearly as well. Like every time I talk to you, you were like, they want another 10 Kitava animations.
I think people don't realize just how hard that boss was for you to work on.
No, I don't think anyone has an idea.
Yeah, anything that doesn't move around but has to cover a wide area with its attacks, requires an insane number of animations, right?
Yeah, I mean it was the one with the most was his in the last stage, his face beam, just the basic one.
Yeah.
Because that needed 9 different zones in front of him. And then Mark also wanted back and forth variants of it. So yeah, that one exploded. I think he's got something like 150 animations.
Jesus. He's got the most in the game, right?
He's got characters, player characters, maybe.
Player characters.
Well, not
definitely
counting
have
player
more.
characters.
Yeah. I don't know. Like skeletons have a lot.
Yeah.
Because
they're used everywhere.
Skeletons.
I suppose.
They do a lot of things. They crawl out from things, fall out of stuff.
Yeah, I guess they have things
Die in
for
a lot of
like we
different ways.
want this like in this particular area it to do this one particular thing, and then it just means that every skeleton can kind of do it because they're all essentially the same.
Yeah.
Do you have a single specific favorite animation? This is
again
riveting audio.
I know this is great.
I'll cut it down so it's just like it's just had it like
We're
that.
gonna really draw that break out.
It's like just straight away.
45 seconds of silence.
It would either be Kitava's death or again the elder the one where he comes out and blows up the boss.
Okay, yeah.
But there's a bunch of others as well, like on monsters that it probably just doesn't even get seen on because people just annihilate the shit out of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in our game. Where, like, we work so hard.
I think
on
that's the
stuff
most
and then
crushing
just-
thing about being an animator. We work hours on like making these cool looking abilities, and then you watch someone play, and it's just this like, it's just effects.
Yeah, I know. I remember in the forums people being like, years ago though, but people being like, oh my god, the effects on this aura look amazing. Tell the animators they did an amazing job. And you're like, this wasn't me.
Yeah.
But thanks.
By the way, Ed, you did an amazing job on those aura effects.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah.
No worries. All right, well, we're out of time. Thank you for coming in, Ed.
No worries.
I'm
sure this is the last time.
Yep. Your band?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
actually, because you played a lot of The Witcher, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Netflix show?
I did.
What'd you think?
Yeah.
If you agree with Ed's you can email frontseatquestions@gmail.com and just headline should be Blake Y. Facebook.com/frontseatcast. Blake hates it when I tell people to email Blake Y. I don't know.
People have said that when we went for the meetup, the first thing one of the listeners said to me, he just comes
Blake
up to me and goes, "Why?"
I love it. Facebook.com/frontseatcast. You can send us messages on there. Ask Blake why. Frontseatgamer.wordpress.com is our WordPress site. You can comment why on there, but not very many people.
No, mostly just your dad.
Yeah, mostly my dad. Thanks, Dad. YouTube.com/frontseatcast. You can subscribe and comment why, Blake. Twitch.tv/frontseatcast. Hey, Ed, do you ever stream on Twitch?
No.
Cool. Good to know. We're also on Spotify and iTunes. You should rate us. You should tell your friends. We love it when you do, and we love hearing about it. So get in contact with us. And we love you, Ed. I love you, Blake. And we'll be back in a couple weeks. Bye.
It actually came in the box quite dusty.
Right. Pre-dust.
Pre-dust. It had like it had this like weird like metal sand in the box.
Oh, is it power?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this like sand in here? And then I noticed it's like all metal and it's like tiny little like round ball bearing things.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was like these little round tiny little
ball bearings.
Yeah.
I think they were ball bearings.
They were little round metal thing.
Because they're round and metal, they're instantly ball bearings.
Well, isn't that what a metal round ball bearing is?
I think a ball bearing is like specifically made to withstand weight.
I don't know about that. I think it's just the shape of a metal
Metal
sphere.
sphere.
Yeah.
Okay. like those disco ball bearings that they hang in the clubs for the children.
No, it's just
I love
solid.
disco ball bearings. Yeah.
Yeah. See, you know what I'm talking about.
You know, I
But
like
disco balls aren't metal.
I think they're mirrored.
They're mirrored.
Yeah.
So
But
They're also not.
what's under that?
They're not-
What's a mirror made out of?
polystyrene.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're,
okay.
they're
A
probably
mirrored
also
metal.
not
Right.
solid metal. Like a ball bearing has to be solid metal.
Okay, so if you got
Like a shot put. A shot
you-
put is just a big ball bearing.
cannonball bearing,
Oh yeah.
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 if you got like some tin foil and scrunched it up into a ball, pinball bearing.
No. Melt it down and maybe if it can like.
Have you seen the polished tinfoil balls some people
No.
make?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw.
Yeah, they get tin foil and they just like pound it with
Yeah.
hammers and stuff
Whoa.
until it's polished, basically. Ed knows what I'm talking about.
I do. I can confirm.
Have you seen the polished mud spheres people make?
No.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I read about.
My fascination in polished balls just kind of stopped at the tinfoil one.
Sure, they did, Ed.
Yeah.
But next time, what else? What other type of balls can people polish?
Gonna Google polished balls. Whoa! I'm into this.
How did this happen?